Wanna be greatest and get on the team. Yeah. Wanna be greatest and get on the team. Yeah. Wanna be greatest and get on the team. Yeah. Wanna be greatest and get on the team. I'm about to fuck up the scene. Wanna be greatest and get on the team. I'm about to fuck up the scene. My niggas living real dreams, yeah. My niggas living real dreams. Wanna be greatest and get on the team. I'm about to fuck up the scene. My niggas living real dreams, yeah. My niggas living real dreams. Yeah. Shout out to Jilla and Ricky Red. Some of y'all throwing hissy fits. Back home, time to reminisce. Yeah, my niggas still with the shits. From the building, I'm flipping bricks. Cousin home from the prison sis. Pulled up on them last night with some rock Sprite. Got lit in it. Ultra like bean, what do you mean? I got a queen, her pussy clean, love with the cream. I'm such a fiend, I don't sit lean. This is my scheme. Working all night, I'm a fucking machine. Making a move with the legend of king. Still got my coupon for 40 acres in the mule. My nigga, it's time to redeem, yeah. No baby mamas. 3 degrees, never had to say you're on a one hell of a plan. Hey! Overstay your welcome, trying to understand me, but
I had to say it right there. It's spit facts right there. Hey, his ass for that one.
Wanna be greatest to get on the team. Yeah. Wanna be greatest to get on the team. Yeah. Wanna be greatest to get on the team. Yeah. We about to fuck up the scene. Wanna be greatest to get on the team. Yeah. We about to fuck up the scene. Yeah. My niggas living real dreams. Yeah. My niggas living real dreams. Wanna be greatest to get on the team. Yeah. We about to fuck up the scene. Yeah. My niggas living real dreams. Yeah. My niggas living real dreams. Yeah. The greatest story ever told. Shout out to my bros. We don't break a fold. Shout out to my bros. We don't break a fold. Shout out to my bros. We don't break a fold. No, to be the greatest, get a team. Put our minds together, and we gon' share these dreams. Put our minds together, and we gon' share these dreams. Put our minds together, and we gon' share these dreams.
Hey!
Yeah, man.
Hey! Hey!
These jokes, man.
I feel like I ended that shit perfect too.
What?
I did. I feel like we was about to lay a motherfucking track and remix of this motherfucker.
Hell no, man. Episode 31. We in this bitch, man. Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller. Bars,
Yeah,
no-nos in the
yeah.
building. White boy
Big
neck.
nose in the building.
White boy ruler neck Jenkins in the building. And you already know who else in this motherfucker.
He injured right
Injured
now,
right
right,
now.
man.
This motherfucker different, real different. It's gonna be this way for the next
Heat
year.
up. Yeah, man. Wonka in the building.
Wonka motherfucking Wonka. Fuck
Oh
with
my
you.
Achilles, man.
We got our man. I've been on him for a minute. White neck Jenkins been on him for a minute. Walker been on him for a minute. On the court, off the court, whatever the fuck you want. My man Byron in the building.
What's good, man? How we feeling?
Chilling, bro.
Good, bro.
Appreciate you guys letting me come through.
I appreciate you coming, man.
Yeah.
For real, for real. For real.
Yeah, man. Let them know about you, bro.
Let the people know.
Short story long. I'm born and raised in Rockford,
Mm-hmm.
Guilford High School,
G-Vite.
the best school.
G-Vikes.
The best high school.
G-Vikes.
Hey, nice in this motherfucker.
I went to Auburn my senior year. We all right.
Mate, we were like, last night, it was, me, Dion, Doc, Legend, Aramis, Big Mike, you know, and we just realized, dude, our era was legendary. As soon as we,
I tell motherfuckers that shit all the time, bro.
I literally feel like I lived college in high school.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It
man.
was awesome.
Boy, your ass been living college for a long ass.
Definitely. I do feel like I'm still in college at times. So yeah, I went to Ashford. It was an hour and a half west. Played basketball there. Did 4 years there. Finished. Got my bachelor's in business. That was 2010. But I had graduated with a 2.8 and I just couldn't get a good job. So I went straight through to get my MBA from Rockford University, or what was Rockford College back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then halfway through that, I I started as an intern with what was then Hamilton Sunstrand, which then turned into UTC Aerospace Systems, which is now Collins Aerospace, and now we're like the largest systems provider for aircraft. So I've been doing that since 2011. That job like sent me to Montreal for 18 months on and off when I was like 23 years old. And like if you've never been to Montreal, like I was telling Aramis and Fly Guy yesterday, they need to get there this summer. Hands down my favorite city up until I went to Croatia.
Is that Croatia?
Croatia's mad. So I was in Montreal working, and then I moved to Phoenix, Arizona for work, and I was out there for about 18 months. And then my mentor boss called me and said he needed some help out in the UK. So I moved there 2016, March 2016, and I just came home about 3 months ago. So it's been over there is like when like my mind just like my eyes got opened, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But that's where Black Boy Abroad's coming from. Like it's just a different culture, the history, the way minorities are viewed and treated over there versus home. It's just it's changed my life. So I'm going back. I'm moving to Amsterdam June 3rd.
Amsterdam? Oh, we definitely got to come visit that.
Bro,
it's cheap. It's a lot cheaper than people.
I be
think.
watching all this shit, like your moves and shit, the pictures you been posting. And shit. I'm like, man, my boy be on the move.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Seeing
cheaper
a lot
than
of shit
people
too.
think. And I'm dedicating my next decade to just creativity and travel. Nothing else is important to me.
Bro, that's
dope.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
That's what's up though, for real.
So yeah, man, I appreciate you letting me slide through, man.
So now you did all your traveling and all that working, and now the music, bro. Like, what got you started with that, man?
Music has always been in me. Like I've always been a creative. Lil Wayne dropping all those mixtapes is like when I started to like practice it. You know what I mean? I've always written rhymes, but when he was dropping heavy, like our senior year of high school and like college, like that's when I started to like, oh man, this is sick. And then when Brandon dipped, I really was like, because it was always that uncertainty, like that fear of the unknown, like how people are gonna perceive it, overthinking and all that shit. It's like, but then when he dipped, I was just like, bro, I don't give a fuck about anything right now.
That's the way it's gotta be though.
Yeah, and it was immediately after. So that was what 2011, end of 2011. So beginning of 2012 is when I first started to like put my mouth on like the mic. Pause.
Whoa, what you say right there? Whoa.
You guys got me doing that shit. I always swore I would never fucking do that shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like, obviously, but some of the first things I did, and I'm gonna play some for Jilla, because it's funny because he was there. I actually recorded at Neil's for the very first time. That was my first time ever putting my lyrics down, and that was like 2012. So I've been doing it, for a minute. But it's just like, work has always been number one, and work is just like, fucking 60 hours a week, But what really happened is like, so I bought a whole bunch of equipment when I was out in Phoenix, and then I ended up selling it because I just wasn't using it, and then I moved for work to the UK, and when I was there, like one of my good mates, he had owned a studio like right down the street from me. And like, but we were mates before I knew he owned the studio. So I went to his studio one day, and like, classic, like it's one like you really go to like create live music for, like like live bands.
Right.
Shout out to Park Studios, Alistair Jameson. And the fact that it was so close, I was like, man, this ain't me. Like, this is God. This is God working. Like, he keeps putting it in my life. Like, even when I like got rid of it or like not separated, but just like didn't have it as a priority.
Right.
Like he would let me record for love, you know what I mean? And then I met an Australian at at a festival in Croatia, and like he's the guy I did that overthinking track with. Shouts to Jordan. I'm actually going to see him on Tuesday in Australia.
Damn, you be in Australia on Tuesday?
Tuesday, Australia for 2
Is
weeks.
that that's the what track is that? Is that the track you shot the video for?
Yeah, in the kitchen.
Yeah, that when I heard that, I was like, okay.
Yeah, so he's proper Aussie. Like he's mixed race, half white, half Samoan, and he's talented. And like
I fucked with that track.
yeah,
though.
so like what they were
fucked with
doing,
that
I
track.
appreciate that, man. What they were doing is what Aussies do is they travel the world. So like their climate is inverse to ours. So right now it's summer there. It's like 95 degrees.
Damn.
So what they do is to experience our summer because it's so far away and so expensive. They'll just tell their work like, look, I'm dipping for like 6 weeks minimum, or they'll go for like 4 months. So he had just started on that journey with his friend. And when I met them, I was like, man, that's so I was just like inspired. You know what I mean? Like
dope.
that was dope as hell for him to just be able to move around like that.
Get up and go.
And then the next day, I was looking at his IG. It was like, oh man, he's a creative as well. Like he's solid too, you know. So we're talking about the next day, and then so I go home. This was Croatia. I'm still living in the UK, and they had just started their journey. Russia, they hit like 16 countries in like 3 months.
God damn.
Yeah. So I was like, look. So that was July, and I was like, look, man, the vibes are strong. I was like, all right, let's link. I'm gonna meet you guys back up in Barcelona. So 2 months later, I met them in Barcelona because they were still on their journeys, and like we were just talking about music, you know, playing some beats and like doing some freestyles. And like it was just a connection, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he finished his travels. So that was September. So then October, since he was going anywhere, he was going all over the place. And I was like, look, man, like you might as well just come check out the vibe. Like, come see what the UK's got, man. Like, let's make some music. Let's see what pops off. So he came in October, stayed for like 27 days, and we banged out some dope ass shit. Like, but the most important thing was like how we were working together. You know, like the way the ideas were bouncing together. And you think about, you know, him being way on the other side of the world is nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So he went home. So that was October. End of October, he went home because that was the end of his trip. And I was like, bro, like, what's up, man? Like, we gonna ride a wave or what? So he fucking packed his shit up, quit his job, and moved in with me January 28th of this year.
That's crazy.
So from January up until when I just got home, because I didn't know I was going to be coming home.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad happened. It was just I was too expensive for the company to be over there.
Right.
But he came in January, and that's when we banged out Overthinking. We banged out Layover. We banged everything that you see on our website now is like from just grinding and working with him. And we got some really good things that are coming later because we got a lot of live instrumentation on it, and we want it to sound as best as it can possibly be. And then when I get down there, we're creating. So we got a studio session. We're going to be shooting some visuals down there in Australia, February, summer. Look out for that. February, summer is going to be lit as fuck.
Dope as hell.
So, yeah, I mean, like, it's long story short, it's just been, like, it's been grabbing me, you know? And it's therapy for me. Like, I got a lot of stuff that I'm not going to share because it just helps me feel better.
Right.
But music is always been a part of me, and God keeps putting it in my face.
That's
so
what's up.
You gotta do it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
On the real, that's what's up, bro.
Gotta try it. Shit. You don't
Definitely
know.
put your
100%.
story in that
Yeah,
motherfucker,
100%.
man.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
I've got a plan, you know? I'm going to pop in Europe first.
That's smart.
I'm going to blow up in Europe first.
You're a smart man.
And then I'll be able to come home, you know, once or twice every month or quarter if things go the way I think they're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to snowball.
Shit, go ahead, bro.
And
Everything else.
Yeah, man.
Everything else you've been planning out, been working,
Yeah,
some
for
shit.
sure.
I mean,
I'm just showing patience, staying humble,
yeah, that's what
working
it's about,
hard,
on the real.
and being nice to people.
You'll get there, man.
That's what
You'll
it
get
is,
there,
bro.
bro.
Yeah, appreciate
Don't be
that.
too nice, man.
Of course.
Shit
Be
definitely
too
gonna
nice.
pay
People
off,
get
though.
over on you. You too nice, bro.
100%. And that's the thing, like, the reason why I've already lived that life. You know, obviously it's about scale, but No Baby Mama's 3 Degrees, like, that's real. Like,
Yeah,
I make a lot of money
right,
to be a single man.
right,
And I live at home with my mom.
right.
So, and I've lived that rapper lifestyle, you know what I
Right,
mean? And
right,
so I know where my values are. All I want to do is to be able to pay rent and have a decent place, you know?
Right.
I don't need a car. I don't need all
Live
that shit. I don't need
comfortable,
all
huh?
that, I don't need that shit.
Live
For
comfortable.
me, it's about free time and waking up and working for myself. So if it's music, if it's video, if it's whatever, like that's all I want to do. So
Right.
That's what's
That's
up.
dope, man.
Real,
Keep
bro.
pushing, bro. Keep
Appreciate
grinding.
that.
That shit'll pay
One
off.
thing you had said though about like just living in different countries, how do you feel that it changed how you look at life?
oh,
'Cause
how long are we doing this discussion?
I feel like just from me going just to Canada, like and spending a lot of time there the past 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel my views on life is like 360. Like I don't look at nothing the same no more.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just and like the craziest thing to me, I guess that kind of broke my heart is like now I can like there's no I spot a racist from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I be thirsty to travel.
Like you can damn near see how they walk. It's
Yeah.
just fucking crazy.
that's why I be so thirsty to travel and tell people I want to just travel. Just from hearing stories from like niggas like y'all and shit
Yeah.
about how that shit changed y'all life and shit. And shit, just growing up in Rockford, just you know what I'm saying. As you grow up, you see shit different. But
Yeah.
shit, traveling, nigga, I want to see different worlds and shit. I want to see, you know what I'm saying. I want to see
like,
different shit.
I told
I
them,
want to see different shit.
like I tell them all the time, the first thing that like caught my eye, like on the airplane, like when we was in Canada and like a Muslim family got on there, nobody bucked their head. It didn't look twice at them.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
anytime I've ever flown here in America somewhere, it's like
Motherfucker staring at him.
everybody
Yeah.
They
just,
doing.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like just a multitude of things. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
Yeah, when you really like, what happened for me was so much. So it was funny because everybody was like, you know, Trump gets in, I'm fucking dipping. When Trump got in, I was already 8 months over there of
He
a
was
2.5 year stint.
Right.
So I didn't really know how to feel about that, and it's 6 hours ahead of Central Time, so the timing is off. And then when the cop killings got like real bad, to when like I think it was an ex-Marine or something, the guy who was sniping cops. I forget which city it was. But when people like really started taking action, I felt a little weird about it. I was like, can I have an opinion on this? I'm black, I'm American, but like I don't know what's going on, and I even felt like 5 minutes of like guilt. I was like, but then I was like, if I was there, like what would I be doing anyway?
Right.
My whole ass wouldn't be doing shit. So it's like, I mean, that just to see how that stuff is like almost non-existent over there. Like, if you get caught with, they have banned guns. Like, they have banned guns. If you get caught with a gun, you're going to prison for like 5-10 years. Like, they've banned it. They've banned them. They're gone.
Right.
So like, number one, you feel you still got shit popping off, but
Right.
everywhere. But
That happens everywhere.
like
but
you said, scale.
you know,
yeah,
100%.
levels
So
to this shit.
safety, number one. Work-life integration. So most places in Europe, UK, you get like 4 weeks holiday, 4 weeks vacation.
Damn.
Bro, you can work at fucking Kinko's. I don't even have Kinko's anymore. You can work at Kinko's and you get 4 weeks vacation. Like they just know that is a higher quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, when I started working at UTC, which is the largest aerospace company in the world, I'm very grateful, but they gave me 2 weeks.
Right.
And then I had to buy a third week for like $60 out of each paycheck.
Damn.
So safety, work-life integration. And then when I came home, it was like, oh man, like we're fucked. Like, we're not fucked. I'm proud of where I am. Like, I'm American. It is what it is. But like, even when you just watch telly, like, commercials come on. Fast food. Pills. And it's just like our capitalism here is at it's the highest in the world in my opinion. But it's what built our country, you know? But it kind of it drives people to behave a certain way. So going back to the music, really, you know, when you try to like work with people here in America, because it's so capitalistic, motherfuckers want $200 just to like play a beat, you know? When I got over there, bro, like people just want to make stuff, and I'll play a track for you now that's not now, but after this that's not finished, and I've got One of my mates is singing. He's a male. He's very good. I got a female singer on there. Me and Jordan spit bars.
Okay.
I've got a guy who, with this old school Rhodes, gave us some nice like crazy synth sounds, all real playing. And then I've got my guy who's singing, playing guitar on there.
Ooh.
And then my guy who's Jamaican, he just put some sick drums on there. And I paid $60 for all that.
Damn.
Because we're cool. You know what I mean? Like
Off
they
of
just want to
love,
make shit.
strength.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going, and that's where I'm going back to, because those people are still on the team, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make things that create a mood for people.
Right.
I talk about that shit all the time, bro. Like my team with like the business relationships it's a fine line in business between like personal gain and, you know what I'm saying, doing it for the brand or whatever you're doing it for, because like you gotta have a fine balance. But I feel like you gotta have more invested in the brand and personal gain, because if you do for personal gain, then you monetize everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, now, all right, bet, now I'm gonna charge you to do this when you really shouldn't. Like,
Yeah.
how come you can't just come in the studio, play me 25 beats, I find one beat, that bitch blow up. It don't have to like go crazy and make us famous, but like now we both got a buzz off of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like,
Instead of you just, fuck, I just played you 10 beats, bro. You gotta give me this, or just saying anything. Everybody want money.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta do it for the betterment. You gotta take L's.
100%. Like, I'm not. You have to know your worth. Like,
Yeah,
if that's
for
your
sure.
price, that's your price. But what I'm saying is like, don't let that prevent you from running into a magical moment.
Right.
Like if you're saying this is the price and it's off the bat, I haven't even played you any music yet. You don't even know if you vibe with me yet.
Right.
Or you don't even know that something special might happen.
Right.
You know, that's what really like bugs me. You know, when people put that at the forefront, and it's like, how do you even know you're gonna come with it on this fucking verse?
Right.
Your rate is 300, but you might spit
spit
out a
some
$100 verse.
You might
bro.
spit some weak
Right.
shit or something.
So that's where we are. So to answer your question, there's a lot of things that changed my perspective, and now that I'm home, it just solidified. Because obviously there's a fear of the unknown. People are, especially like people are like, "What the fuck are you doing? You walking away from six figures?" Blah 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 blah. But I'm a smart man, you know, and I'm confident and I'm talented, and I'm gonna be able to make this work.
That's what
all
it's
it
about,
takes,
bro.
man.
It start with you, bro.
And the thing is, like, people like you guys asking questions. I'm running into it, and even like old gay white men who are 48 years old. I was just talking to a guy in Rochester, and he was like, "What?" It's just like the fact that a lot of people don't know you can go to London for like $375 2 weeks from now, and then once you get there, $40 gets you to Amsterdam in 1 hour.
Damn.
Like it. So I'm trying to I want to show people that, you know, and then it's even a deeper thing. So it gets the last deepest level that it goes. Black Boy Abroad is. So the Netherlands, where I'm going, where Amsterdam is, they have a good relationship with us. When my company told me I had to come back, I started Googling like crazy. Like I was like, man, I don't want to go home. Like, how do I stay over here? And I found this visa called the Dutch American Friendship Visa, Dutch American Friendship Treaty, the DAFT visa, and for €4,500, which is about $5,700, as an American, you can go there and start any business you want. Any business you want. They give you a 2-year visa. That visa extension has like a 98% success rate. So then after 2 years, you got your 4 down. You do 1 more year, then you get a European. You become a citizen. You get a European passport. So my plan, I've never had a 5-year plan until now. My 5-year plan is to become a European citizen with a European passport
That's what's
by
up.
the age of 35, and then I'll be able to move around all over there, and bounce back home, and then move around all over there.
That's what's up.
And like, man, like,
That's what's up.
so what I've seen
It
is
don't take that much.
it doesn't, bro. Like, but it's information. Like,
Yeah,
I would have never
yeah.
known if
Nobody
I wasn't
tells us
freaking
this.
out.
Yeah.
And was like, I really want to stay. So I was looking everywhere, Ireland, Australia. I was like, man, I don't want to go home.
Right.
And when I found it, I was like, whoa, you know, like, I've met 3 people who've done it already. They're already successful at doing it. Do you remember Austin Rue? Austin ROOS. He went to Guilford with us.
I gotta
Little
see his
nerdy kid,
face.
but he was
I gotta
cool.
see his face.
Yeah. He's there. I just found out like 3 days ago that he's there. So it's like,
Damn.
let's
dope.
get it, you know?
Yeah.
Damn.
See, nobody would know this shit though, because nobody teaches us this.
We
in
don't,
school.
but we
Nobody,
don't. Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
tells
So we
us
lost,
that,
bro.
yeah, we're
We
lost.
lost.
Yeah.
Everybody here is lost, bro. It don't take much.
That
At
goes
all.
back
Like
to
he
that
just said, it costs
traveling.
what $375 to get there,
Yeah.
and then another 40 to get to Amsterdam, bro. That's less than that's less than taking a trip to fucking LA.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm trying to
It
figure out
definitely
how to,
is
like,
though.
explain it, but I've run into this problem. Like that was my problem, like in where I became successful at, like in my eyes, is when I figured out that like it wasn't like I don't know, it's doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like information, like just actually looking. Like you got to think about how many people haven't even don't even look. They just like, oh shit, it's probably $2,000
That is right. That's what I was
and
gonna
then
say.
you look
like,
at it and it's not. But it's
Google
just-
Flights, man.
and it's
That's
just-
it. Google Flights.
And I kind of, and it's weird though, but I kind of compare this shit to like stars in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Because you would never fucking know unless you actually go out there.
That's because
and
we be
seek
worried
the
about the
information.
wrong shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like we worried about the wrong shit. Cause motherfuckers worry about Jordans and shit like
Yeah.
that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And I really, like, that's what I'm really trying to convey in my music and just my creativity as a whole, because we are unaware, and especially now being home, like, we ain't gotta fucking stay here. Like, especially as black people, as minorities in general, like, it's never been a dope place for us. It's still not a dope place for us. And I'm trying to show people you can fucking dip. Like, you don't have to stay here. You can dip, and it's not that hard.
Nope.
So I'm gonna be like the guy who fucking goes and risks it all and like fails a couple times, learn from it. It's not gonna be easy, but I feel like I have a purpose. Like, this is where it gets deep. Like, I feel like fucking Moses. I feel like fucking Harriet Tubman. I'm not joking.
Ain't nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
shit.
Like,
Ain't
I
nothing
wanna,
wrong with
I
that.
wanna,
Motherfuckers,
I wanna
it's a
create,
different
I wanna,
route.
I wanna create this blueprint of, if you focus and if you put yourself in a few like certain situations, you don't have to deal with this fucking racism. You don't.
Nope.
You can dip and you can go live in a fucking dope ass city, or anywhere you
Oh,
want,
another
but you don't have to stay. We want to build a wall, keep them out. And did you know you can't get a passport and these numbers skew, but you can't get a passport if your child support is too high. You can't get a passport if you have a felony, but that one makes sense. But even some is like probation and like
Probation and
like
hold on. So you can't get one if you're a felon?
it's very difficult. They even look at taxes and fucking child support. Which demographic does that cater to? Let's just be real with ourselves. Right? So
Yeah.
I have to do this,
So
We need it. Shit.
I'm telling you, because people don't really believe something until it's done, and then they be like, okay, somebody else has did it.
And it's like,
So it's, I can do
and
this.
like
How Fred, he made it out and made it to the NBA. Now look how many, bro, basketball was dying. It was dying in Rockford until Fred made the NBA. Now look how many kids are so
100%.
they love basketball now. Everybody wants to do this basketball thing now. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So it's going to take somebody like you to do this and show everybody that it's easy, man.
Yeah,
You can
that's
get
why
up
I
and
said
do
it
this
ain't,
shit.
it ain't wrong for
And I'm
feeling
not-
like how you feel,
Yeah,
bro.
like this is that's why I call this a cheeky venting session, because when you try to explain this to your friends or your parents, and there's like no one I can talk to about this. I mean, I can talk to them, but
Right.
on a
But
deep
they're gonna
level.
look at you like,
Yeah,
what are you
so
doing?
it's good for me to like do it in this form.
Sometimes, though,
because-
bro, like,
I
you know,
get
some people just get that
sometimes,
message late, bro.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers who ain't gonna believe you gonna be the same motherfuckers when that shit happen. They gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did it.
Yeah,
Oh,
most
okay.
definitely.
Now I see who he was getting at.
And I'm not saying
You know what I'm saying?
you gotta leave. Like, if you want to leave, like, do it. Like, I'm gonna show you how.
Right.
But all I'm saying is, I'm trying to give information, like being able to find that flight for $375. Just go see some shit. You know what I mean? Like, just like you went to Canada, and that's like not even. It's not even that different. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
It's
it's
not-
different enough.
yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
real.
So that's why I really advise you to go to Montreal this summer. because that's like half French. It's in French Canada, and like all the street signs are in French. They're all speaking French.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Dope.
And it's close. It's the closest way to get that feeling, that vibe. 'Cause that's what changed it for me. But you know, I'm just trying to show people, look, just go out there and go see some shit, and then you'll come back home and your mindset will just be like, oh man, I'm about to move this way. Like I'm gonna do this a little bit differently.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. More power to you, bro. I hope you
appreciate that.
succeed in that, man.
Thank
For
you
real,
very
for
much.
real.
I appreciate that.
Keep grinding. Don't never give up, man.
I appreciate that.
For real, man. Yeah, man. We getting into this snitch 9, man. 6ix9ine. Motherfucker said I had seen something about he's not being charged since he's cooperating with the fucking feds, bro.
What does that mean though?
Yeah.
Look,
I mean, that nigga's snitching. That's what that shit means.
Does that mean he's getting released from their custody when all this is said and done?
They probably gonna have him in. I don't know. My boy.
Do you think he'll still be able to sell records when all this is said and done? If he gets freed by the government, you think he'll still be able to sell the records?
Yeah.
Still be a buzz?
Why not?
Yeah. I think
Why not?
it's gonna be interesting because he's obviously gonna have to move. His whole strategy has to change. And now that people think he's a snitch, so his strategy was gonna have to change regardless. Because number one, he doesn't want to get locked up again.
Right.
So all that shit that he was doing to
All that
help him blow
rah-rah
up,
shit.
he couldn't. He'd have to do that much differently if he still did it. But now, so that he already had to do that, right? But now if people think he's a snitch, then even now it's got to change again for him.
Because features. Nobody's going to want to be
he in a tough ass situation.
Nobody's going to want to be featured with 6ix9ine on the track now.
Yeah. But he is smart.
No.
He's very smart. You know,
Think?
Yeah,
I think he'll be able to figure it out.
I think everybody will still fuck with him.
He gonna have to.
It's gonna be
somebody.
certain
Yeah.
people.
I think he'll
that's
still
not-
be able to sell records.
It's
'cause
2019,
kids
bro.
that fuck with him.
Yeah.
It's 2019. Like now, like this ain't like 10 years ago. Where like we gonna have all the information when that shit comes.
Well, people are gonna want to hear. Like
And, like,
same with Savage, right?
This
People
my
want to
thing,
hear
bro.
it.
Yeah.
Like I know how to like this. Everybody knows how the streets go, but
Mm-hmm.
like they did fuck his baby mama. They did steal $3 million from him. They did put a hit out on him.
Yeah.
How was that snitching? At the end of the day,
I mean, I feel where you coming from.
What do you call it, though?
them
But what
niggas
do you
did it
call it?
first though.
But what do you call that? If it's not snitching,
What you call it?
What do you call
I say
it?
them niggas is snitching then.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there.
Like, bro, if we do a crime, bro,
Mhm.
and like if we doing shit and like you fucking my girl and you taking money and you taking money and then the organization get took
You
down.
get it crumbled.
But then even like they were investigating for a while, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that means they were
They
grabbing
shit.
they were grabbing his people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they were locking his people up, and obviously at the lower tier.
Yeah.
But they were locking him up, and they were gaining information some way, right? The investigation was
Right. I
what?
see
How
what you're
long?
saying.
Two
It was long.
2 years,
Years,
or so.
bro. Years.
So they were.
Two,
I
2 years.
was. Somebody was saying something for them to finally have
True.
enough to go get
True.
him. You know what I mean?
True.
Right.
True.
So when the snitching ain't start with
So
him,
basically, he cool snitching because he snitched back. Basically, that what you saying?
I'm not a
Nobody
street
told on
guy.
me.
I'm not a street guy. I don't live by them
I
street
ain't saying
codes.
that. I'm just
I
saying,
tell you
like,
what.
at the end of the day though, like I don't know, like it's I guess you can I mean I don't know how the rules don't apply.
but you don't. I don't know. I don't know if he'll even be able to come back out. Cause like Byron said, where you have to come back out with a whole different swag now. Like it's not no rah-rah shit no. You can't do it no more. You've been getting looked at by the feds. You cooperated with them. You cannot go back out here and talk about guns and rah-rah shit and all this stuff. You can't do it now.
That shit been
T.I.
dead when
did.
he first said he got them and
Who?
was
T.I.
doing
do
that
it?
to who?
Like,
T.I.
niggas
in a
don't-
whole nother level. Think
I'm
about
just
how
saying,
T.I.
though, like,
rapped back
it's-
then before
I'm
that.
saying
Now
though,
he
bro, you
on
can
a
bounce back
changing
from
your
it.
mind
And that's
type
a
level.
totally different situation. Like I'm not comparing the two at all.
Right.
But I'm saying though, I think with the day and age and the way that he troll, he gonna be able to bounce back from that shit.
It's gonna come down to
Cause
that.
I'm telling you, he gonna play the victim role. He
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
like, they
of course.
fucked my baby mama and
Yeah.
they stole $3 million.
As soon as he comes out, people are gonna want to hear from him,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, you just got to make good music.
Mm-hmm.
If he's making good music,
It's
they
gonna be played.
don't look at what people who are very talented, people who are getting caught up. Like
R. Kelly.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Motherfuckers know R. Kelly was on bullshit, but he was smashing
But you
records.
still play his music though.
On a whole nother flip side, like I don't know if I believe that he gonna walk though.
6ix9ine.
Don't make sense. He's supposed to be the top dog. They ain't letting El Chapo out because El Chapo told him who his hitman was and where they put the dope at and all this and that. That's a RICO case. They don't let the top dog out. A RICO case is to get the top dog, not to get the top dog.
That's what I thought too, though.
Top dog?
Yeah, that's what it is.
No.
What you mean?
Shit,
They were doing the RICO
That's
act
what
on
the
the gang of 9 Trey.
Right, and he's the face of it.
He's the face of that
He's
shit,
not
though.
the top dog of the
But he
They
RICO.
the
consider
face.
him that because he's the money.
He
Like,
the
it don't
money. I was
matter.
gonna say he
Yeah,
the money.
he does
Bro,
bring
you
in
could
the
be
money for the gang.
You could be
yeah.
the hardest gangbanger in the world, but if I'm giving you money to go do what you do, I'm the top dog.
Right.
I think he'll get out just because of that, because of the money. He's gonna end up paying them. He's gonna end up paying
Crazy
a lot of
amount of
money, and he's gonna get free.
He gonna have to pay a lot.
That's the way we work,
yeah.
man. Like,
I believe that too, though.
come on, bro.
He gonna spend some little bread.
It's wild though. Ain't it wild how a celeb could do this shit? Think about if it was a random motherfucker.
It's not because he's
No one would
celeb,
care.
But how is it not because he's a celeb? If he didn't have this much buzz,
It's money.
you think
Yeah.
a RICO act would turn this way to where somebody's getting out because of this? No, he has so much buzz, bro, that they're gonna allow that shit to happen.
It's money. That's even more the reason to not let the nigga out. To me, in my opinion, if he's a rapper and he's doing all this
I
shit
mean,
on
because,
camera.
bro, all celebs get treated different, bro. You can't tell me shit. Half the shit I see these motherfuckers go down
I
with,
disagree,
bro.
bro.
A normal motherfucker
I said
will
it's
go.
money. You can't.
It's
You
money.
can't get the two mixed up. It's money.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
I see what you're saying. Because you could pay for that good lawyer. You could pay for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's money for sure.
Yeah. You talk about El Chapo.
Yeah, that and like that. You was talking about building a wall. His name is Ted Cruz. He's a Republican from Texas.
Mhm.
Like he's writing this bill, trying to get all the Republicans to sign it. They done like accumulated $14 billion in net worth from
From El
Chapo,
Chapo.
and they're trying to put that towards the wall.
Fucking hell.
Crazy.
What?
Crazy.
Capitalism at its finest, gentlemen.
Right.
It's like, God, we spend so much effort and energy and time worried about $1
Mm-hmm.
to where, like, I've been looking at these quick history YouTube videos. It's called Oversimplified. And like, so this guy, he like animates it, he keeps it like fun and keeps it witty. But he's got facts to it, you know what I mean? So I did like the Civil War, I looked at fucking World War I, World War II, because they try to teach us that shit in school.
Yeah,
Come
shit,
on,
no.
3 weeks to do three chapters, boring as hell. We didn't
Boring
retain,
as fuck.
we didn't retain any of that, and our minds were too young to like really know.
right,
We were
right.
passing notes to bitches and shit.
Yeah.
We didn't worry about that.
So I was watching one of his videos, and he was talking about money, like the dollar.
Mm.
And I think it was 1930, which was close to the Great Depression, close to niggas still getting lynched. America went away from the gold standard. So money started as people trading, right?
Right.
And then trading took too long, or like, I don't want that shit. You broke that shit.
Right.
So then it was like, we need to formulate some type of money, right? So they started with like stones and like really like valuable, rare like stones, and they turned them into coins, obviously. But for a long time, and don't quote me on this, I just looked at it, but for a long time, we were able to have gold, which is like very valuable.
Right.
Yes.
Gold was the like balance. Gold was, all right, this amount of money equals this amount of gold.
Right.
And that's how we're going to be able to somewhat manage it.
Yeah.
In 1930, America went away from the gold standard. So pretty much it was motherfuckers saying that amount of paper is worth that much.
Right.
It's not, you can't say this much gold equals this much money anymore.
Right.
We just stopped. And we just been printing away ever since.
Yeah, last week, I don't mean to cut you off. Last week, I talked about that shit, remember? And it was, because that's cool that you even brought that up, because that plays right into, that shit happened right after the gold rush, kind of America, where I forgot what president it was. He started hoarding all of the gold and, like, started piling this shit up, and then that kind of sent the country into that.
Yeah.
And then they just was like, all right, yeah, this means that. And now fucking we got all this gold, and we using copper pennies and shit.
Yeah, so you got $100 in your pocket. It's only $100 because somebody said it's $100,
Right.
and not just like the value of the paper. What other people are pricing their own products and services as, right? That's where the skew happens, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I've fucked off a lot of money in my life, and I still fuck off money. But now it's like I'm changing up because when I get over there, like I've got enough to like last me a certain amount of time before I need to get a job. But like when I say like when I live that rapper life with air quotes, like I've done that, man. Like my value is not money,
Right.
It's time, it's moments,
You
know,
noticed it,
moments, dude. That's where I'm at. Like you can't tell me what you ate for dinner last Thursday. Exactly what you ate for dinner last Thursday.
Hell no,
It'll take you a while if you did, right?
You
So
gotta think.
right, so that's a thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell me the first basketball game you had.
Yeah, the moment.
Those moments live in the soul, and those are forever. Everything else lives in the mind. The mind isn't forever.
You right.
Memories. You keep those memories.
Facts.
Speaking facts.
Fact.
Damn it, y'all. Listen up. That man is speaking.
That's what that music.
Man.
So that music that you coming out, all this music, that's the vision you putting out.
Yeah. It's. I know what I want to say. I just gotta know how to say it.
How to say it, right?
And who the audience is for that particular record.
Right.
Because I am black. I am from the middle of America. You know, I grew up on the South Side till I was 10 years old. Then we moved to the East Side.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily for sport, it kept me in tune with my black friends. Just keeping it real. You know? So at an early age, I was over in the white neighborhood, but I still had my black friends because I was playing sports. And then to go down that path and see how, you know, minorities are still treated today, it's just like, fuck. But then I'm also a part of the, not disgruntled, we appear to be unappreciative, but the millennial who feels like we were duped into going into college because they said we had to, accumulating all this debt, $100,000 in debt, just to get a job that's going to pay you $60,000 a year, and now who like those companies aren't even loyal to you. And I love my job. I love my company. Like I'm grateful as hell. Like, but there's a lot of millennials out there. They are quick to jump ship, or they're quick to go follow their passion, start something to be an entrepreneur, because we were duped. Like, our education system, higher education system, became a scheme back to capitalism.
Yep.
So Ashford was a physical campus where I went to school, and you visited. You came and kicked it.
Yeah.
And small, very small, right?
Yeah. Small as hell.
Yeah. So we started that Rockford wave. Blazo went there.
Yeah,
like
you was there with him, right?
Yeah, bro. Like a lot of
y'all was the first ones to go.
We was the first one. Soccer and basketball.
He was the first one to go.
Soccer and basketball.
They started recruiting me.
Yeah.
I remember it was y'all, both of y'all was out there.
And like Bridgepoint Education, some corporation out in California, scooped us up. They bought us. And they bought a school in Colorado, same size. And that's a small town. They gave us some money, like they built a new soccer field, they built a call center, and then they started pushing their online programs, taking advantage of war veterans, military veterans, single moms, people who think they need to go to school. Right? Bro, 2014, they shut my school down. Ashford, the physical campus of Ashford, where I have my degree, where you came to visit, no longer exists. Because that company said, "Oh, we making money on these online. Like this is where we gotta be. We gotta do every 100% online. And if we can cut all the costs instead of operating a physical campus, we just want to do it online, and we shutting that bitch down. So like, I mean, thank God I went and got a master's.
Word.
Because I was about to burn my shit. Like, my piece of paper means nothing now. You know what I mean? Like,
that's crazy.
Back to capitalism. You know, like it's crazy.
Higher
education they're a business. You know, just like hotels, just like prisons.
Right.
That was crazy, man. Like,
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah, it no longer exists, bro.
That's crazy. That motherfucker stay woke, man.
Yeah. Don't need college, bro.
No,
You don't need college.
no,
Tell them motherfuckers that all the time.
you
man.
don't.
You don't need
With
college.
the internet and a brain, you're good.
Yeah, the way the internet is nowadays, you don't need fucking college.
Yeah,
You don't need to go
everything
put yourself in
motherfucker.
debt. You don't need to go through all of this stress.
I had one teacher at ICC, and I can't believe I don't remember his name, but he was the class was called business management, and he said all you have to do is walk through that door, and I'll give you an A+.
Mm.
Coming there every day, he had an entrepreneur, a self-made business owner in there, and this dude always dressed down.
Yeah.
He had like dry sense of humor. Last day of the semester, like we never had tests, none of that. Like you just come in and listen. You know what I'm saying? Take notes if you want to. If not, just listen to the story of how they made it. It's just somebody different every single day for the entire semester. Last day, he come in, pinstripe suit down. And just tell us his story. How he's a self-made millionaire.
Yeah.
And he grew up on a farm, and his dad worked for Caterpillar. And his dad was coming up with a plan on how to make his own boats to sell to Caterpillar. And he just took that over, and now this dude sells boats to Caterpillar.
That's love.
And he's caked up and teaches a class at the college.
Yeah.
You know?
And told us that on the last day. You know what I'm saying? Just something like it's simple.
See,
That
that's
was the
what
most
we
influential class I had because it was like it was one of them dudes where like you knew something was up, but it
Yeah.
wasn't a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you learned so much, you were always intrigued to be around them. Like it's just you meet people like that. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know that energy.
Yeah, we got into that on a couple episodes ago about how high school should teach trades more than a lot of this other shit. You teach us trades, bro. We don't need to go to college. For
I
what?
think it's because
We learned this trade already.
I
We
think
in
it's
this.
because then like bro saying if they teach us the right shit, then
A lot of
America
companies gonna
can't
lose
be
money.
capitalist.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you can't really have a capitalist economy if everybody has the key.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that shit just wild, man.
Plays right into the system.
Yep.
Only thing college taught me was time management and public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Sound about right.
That was it.
Politics.
Definitely
And another
sound
thing,
about right,
from
though.
watching Killer Mike triggered shit, I
That
like
shit.
his little take on
is
it, and
dope.
it really opened my eyes. It was like college was never meant for black people anyway.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you're supposed to go to college and party, but
Mm-hmm.
the average middle class white American that has money in a 2-parent home, they can go and manage partying
And do that shit.
and fuck up in college for a couple semesters because they can go back to a $2 million home
Right.
and live with their parents. Like, that's not uncommon. You know, my brother, he's been blessed to be able to make it to the league, and he's buying houses, and it's like, it's kind of surreal because he's just moving into a neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
Right.
there's 15 other houses, and his isn't the biggest one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, damn, that's just a regular person living.
Yeah.
And there's kids in there that grow up, and they think that's regular
Yeah.
to hop in your Range Rover
Yeah, for
and your
sure.
Phantom.
Yep.
And to wake up to a chef every day
Yeah.
and a maid.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Should be made different, bro.
Levels, man.
Man,
Like imagine
yeah,
imagine
for real.
having that and then say your parents saying go to college and do what you want to do. Go figure out how to go do something with them computers at college and you ain't got to worry about stress, money.
Hell
Your
no.
moms and them sick. They might have
None of
bad
that.
diets, got diabetes.
Yep.
Just simple shit, bro. We deal with so much more.
Shit crazy, man.
Hell yeah, bro.
America.
Yeah. But that's why we flourish the best.
Yeah,
Because I don't think there's nobody else that could endure that.
Yeah.
And that, you know what I'm saying? And when you endure that, come out a superstar. And
Yeah, that's the thing. It
And
does
whatever
build.
the fuck fat you do it. Like
Yeah.
you go 110.
But that
Right.
percentage is
Very
small.
Small.
Very low.
And like, I mean, if you think like great country, like again, the history, and don't quote me because I only looked at it a little bit, but like we built this country off capitalism. You know what I mean? Like Japan fucked up, did Pearl Harbor, because we weren't fucking with World War II. We was like, no, we staying out of it.
Right.
But Japan fucked up, and we were like, all right, we in it now.
Hell yeah.
So from that point on, we just started making the best weapons for everybody on the planet that was on our side, obviously. So by making all those weapons and weapons and weapons and selling them, you're becoming the strongest, most powerful, and the richest country at the same time. And we, from 1940, that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the balls to push that button, not once, but twice. If we had a nuclear war, that's why nobody would actually drop another nuke, because the earth would literally melt, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would disintegrate. But we're the only people in human civilization that said, you know what, fuck it, I'm pushing the button twice. And everybody's like, all right, we ain't going there. You guys win.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was great. 80s, 90s, fucking great, man.
Yeah.
Like, those are great years for
Yeah,
us.
it definitely was.
And then you just, you know, but, you know, 2001, September 11 happened, and, like, we got checked. And we haven't bounced back. The way I see it is we haven't bounced back from that yet.
No.
No.
No, we haven't. No.
Just 7 years after that, we had a economical breakdown.
Yep.
And
just
we haven't bounced back
exposed
from
it.
that either.
Because it just exposed it.
Yep.
And I say that all the time. The older I get, the sadder it becomes. Is that, like, even though I was in the 5th grade when that shit happened, like, I don't remember the racist terms towards, like, a Muslim person and shit like that.
No.
Or like an Indian dude, or like a,
No.
you know?
You didn't hear
I
about
mean,
that.
probably in bigger cities where they got taxi driver, but, like, you know, like, just the average, that shit was not made, like, no. And I think that kind of just shifted and gave motherfucking an excuse.
We got checked.
Checked. Checkmate.
We definitely did.
Yeah.
See.
Boy, your big nose ass.
Nah, but
This boy, checkmate.
real quick though, I just thought of this shit. There's this group of black dudes that I have like connected with on Instagram that live in Toronto. It's a marketing team, and they've been doing like this Black History Month research, and they're like basically doing this research showing how like when it was segregated, we flourished more.
Mm.
You know, when shit's segregated, you flourish more. Because everything stays in house, like the dollar stays in the in you know, of course it's levels like hanging people obviously not fucking right, that whole aspect.
Yeah.
But it is right though. If we could figure out how to say, you know what, damn, let's not spend our money across the west side. Let's not cross that motherfucking river.
Yep.
And let's build a clothing store over here and
Yeah.
McDonald's and some more gas stations.
Walmart and
It take people to do that though. And it just somebody's got to take that leap of faith. And it's hard to ask, though.
But I think one of our bounce backs is going to be once marijuana is legalized.
Yes.
At a larger scale.
Yes.
I don't smoke it. Like my brain moves too fast without smoking. So when I smoke, I like lose confidence. But I think if it's a crop, right? So if done right, it's gonna take a long time before it can be done. I'm sorry, done right, because when they do drop it, everybody's gonna want to govern it differently.
Yep.
But when it drops, man, people are gonna be able to make a lot of money, bro.
Hell yeah.
And it's gonna build the economy again.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's gonna do. You see in Colorado, they had $60 million they gave back to veterans and homeless.
Yeah.
Off of just marijuana alone. $60 million back to
That's
their
what I was
community.
Telling you one of the things I wanted to bring up was that the lady Alex Cortez that been going crazy. She been trying to propose this bill to like in the states that weed is legalized, put a stipend out, to give people a stipend for when they get out of prison. So like if you got locked up for selling bud, if you got locked up for selling bud and it got legalized, from the day it got legalized, you get a stipend
Oh shit.
when you get out.
That's
Wow.
dope. Because if it is legalized, then why are you still locked up for that marijuana? That's now legal.
Because I think one thing that is hard to get information on, and maybe I'm far-fetched, and I think that just the slave just structure of prisons is that shit. There's certain prisons, private prisons, that they probably send people to just build crazy shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's probably people that, fuck it, you've been in here for 20 years, ain't nobody came to see you in 10, fuck it, we gonna send you to this facility and you just gonna start building shit.
Building shit.
Yep.
You know?
100%.
And they probably do it, and the motherfuckers work until they die.
It's literally slavery.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't looked into it a lot, but man, it's
They're paying the inmates $1 an hour, bro.
Yeah, bro.
No,
To
not
clear
even.
wildfire.
Someone was,
gonna say
it was
not
like
even that.
15
Oh, you
cents.
I was about to say,
Wi-Fi?
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
17
dollar.
cents.
$1 an hour, bro.
Yeah, bro.
$1 an hour to go out there and fight the fire, and then when you get
Wow.
out, you can't become a fireman in the state of California because you're a
Hey,
felon.
it's right.
What?
Think about
Bro?
that, bro.
How crazy! There's not an exception.
What?
Systematic,
You
bro.
don't
I'm
know
telling
what you're
you, bro.
doing out there, bro. You've never learned this in your life, and they throw you out there for $1 a fucking hour. And then when you get out,
Then
now
you
you
can't be
know
no
you
firefighter.
can't become what
I
you.
just
They
fought
just threw you
fires
out to
and
do
shit.
for $1 an hour.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, like, it's like,
Motherfuckers.
it's not what I say, it's how I say it, because I'm not trying to come off as this fucking
Yeah.
ungrateful, bitter bitch. But it's hard for us over here, man.
Mhm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm lucky. Like, my path has been, you know, fortunate to this day. I truly believe that when you die, that depending on how you lived your life, how well you lived your life, God allows you to, not control, but God allows you to, like, connect certain areas in the universe.
Right.
So, like, when you dip, like, I truly believe, like, when you dip, like, he's like, all right, you did this, 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 and this. That equals 3 people. Or that equals this much for who you got down there.
Right.
And I truly believe that he gave Brandon was like my parents, my sister, and Byron. Because the way that I've been meeting people, the way
Everybody
that all
slowly
of this
showing
is
you the
just
way.
I
been
believe that shit
happening.
too,
And it's
though.
just like kind of like, all right, Byron's over there, let me just like put this other person over there. Universe, like the natural
Right,
universe.
right.
It's not like fucking puppets. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the universe is real. It's
Yeah.
it's a cycle, and it's physical. It's a space, and I truly believe that, you know, he's been looking out, and fuck, that's why I'm like fearless and I'm like, let's do it.
That's what's up.
You gotta
know?
keep pushing forward.
That's what's
I
up.
have to.
That's
You
what's
sound just like my brother, bro.
Yeah.
Because he is one of the only, like, you know, you might be the only other person that, because, you know, like, just a simple something smoking.
Yeah.
Like, just, come on now.
Yeah.
Everybody smoke.
Yeah,
That's
for
a
sure.
hard thing to not do. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is he lived his life the right way.
Yeah.
Like, he don't make, like, I'm not going to say he don't make bad decisions, but he lives every single day the right way.
Yeah. And we're
And
human.
it's paid, and it's like and that's motivation for me, because if you live every single day the right way, bro,
Yeah.
and you know if you're doing something wrong and you correct yourself and you have enough humility to break yourself down, or anybody around you, that can only better you in the long run.
Yep.
True.
And that's how the universe works. You
Facts.
put good energy out, good energy
You
comes
get
back.
good energy. Yeah.
Bye.
You
Facts.
gotta live your shit the
Facts.
right way, bro.
Yo,
Facts.
yeah, that shit crazy.
Hey, since
bro.
we was talking about the marijuana and shit, do y'all think addiction is a disease?
What's the definition of disease? I'm gonna look that up.
Now, the reason that I brought this up is because I saw a meme, and it was funny, and it's kind of harsh, but it really made me think. That shit said, how is addiction a disease? You can't walk outside and catch crackhead.
You can't just walk outside and like, damn, what you catch, boy? I call crackhead. Then I call heroin that.
You can't walk outside and catch alcoholism.
Yeah.
He said you can't walk outside and catch crackhead, my boy.
I think they
Hey.
try to say like a disorder of structure or function in a human, animal, or plant, especially one that produces specific signs or symptoms, or that affects a specific location and is not simply a direct result of physical injury. I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm just gonna be honest.
I say
But they're calling it a disorder, so I don't know.
So, can it be
no,
if it's a disorder?
no, because I say like if you have like what's a disease what's a very common disease that you would say people have, like Crohn's disease.
Yeah,
You can't choose to not have Crohn's disease. You can choose to not be an alcoholic. You
Yeah,
can choose
yeah.
to not be a
True,
crackhead.
true.
There's
true,
nothing
true.
making you stick that needle in your body.
Your
With-
body though.
Withdrawals, yeah, but that's not
Withdrawals
But you
and
still
shit
can
like that.
can fight through that,
right. You can
Yeah.
fight
That's a
through
choice.
that.
Very
It's still a
hard,
choice though.
Because
You
that
know?
still shut your body down. It's still,
But you still can
because if
fight
you've
through
been
it.
Right,
doing
but you
that
can
shit
win
for
You can
so
go
long,
get help.
You
Fight
can't
through that.
wean yourself off of sickle cell. You
That's
can't
what I'm
wean
saying.
yourself off of
You
that.
can't. It ain't no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really ain't no choice to that shit.
But I think the exactly what you're talking about. I think it's just the doing it is the addiction, is the cycle that like you need, because that's
I mean, if you think about like, because I live in Columbus, Ohio, and boy, there's heroin addicts everywhere there, bro. That shit, y'all both came to visit Columbus, bro. It's heroin addicts walk. It's like the fucking zombie, living dead out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere out there. So I don't know if it's like just them doing it. I think it's their body's so used to it for so long a time when they don't do it, bro. It's
They're sick.
shit that just shut down. So
They be sick.
They have to find. They have to do it. If you don't do it, you could damn near die because they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
true. But you don't need any type of nobody's insurance to walk into a hospital and go through a withdrawal.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying, though. I see what you're saying. So basically, you're saying no.
And then,
it's not
like,
a
I've
disease.
seen people
I
go
don't
through
think-
withdrawals
I
and
won't
shit off of
classify
multiple drugs that have done it for a long time. Like, and it's not as dramatic as it is in the movies.
I think some claimed addicts would probably be offended by if people, tried to say it wasn't a disease. But I think it's like just the labeling and terminology,
Right.
like a lot of things, the way people label things and term things, it shifts the focus of what
Yeah,
we're really
yeah.
what we really should be focused on. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
so too much of anything is bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody knows that.
Right.
So when it comes to drugs, alcohol, gambling, all these things that people can be quote unquote addicted to, like we all dive into our vices, but if you do it too much, your life's gonna fuck up.
Yep.
So it's like, and I'm not trying to like discredit people. Like my dad, 31 years, never even had a fucking beer. Like he did everything but heroin for a long time. But I think the labeling that we do with stuff just it fucks us up, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it fucks it up.
if you want to have a better diet, I went plant-based. Like when I'm in my shit, in my zone, like I'm a plant-based cooker, when I'm out, I'll splurge. But like then everyone's like, oh, you're fucking vegan, no, like just you putting terms, like you putting labels on it. And then now I feel like I have to fucking be plant-based every fucking day now because I'm a vegan. It's like, no, I'm not a vegan. I just wanted to clean my diet up a little bit.
Right.
Get rid of the labels,
Yeah.
Facts.
It's crazy you say that, bro, because I do this shit every year. I do 2 weeks of I eat, it would do like once a week. I do eat a chicken or a steak, but I do like just salads, like nuts and shit like that. And I dropped 20 pounds in 2 weeks.
It cleanses.
But it's just like you gotta sustain that though.
Yeah.
But that shit is fucking amazing.
To body cleanse.
I want to do that shit too, though. Okay.
I practice.
Boy, that's already skinny.
But I still want to be clean, motherfucker.
Talk about
Let me-
cleansing his
Let
body.
me get some of your fat, motherfucker.
You can have him.
I need a little bit of them pounds, man.
Your nose, take it off that nose, my boy. Big nose.
Give me
ass.
take it off your neck.
Long
Motherfucker. Long ass neck.
Yeah, I be practicing fasting sometimes, and like when I hit it, like I feel so much better. Like
A lot of people be telling me
man,
that shit.
I went 80 hours once,
Damn.
just water and
Just
coffee.
water? Oh, you can
Black
do coffee?
black coffee.
Cool. I'm good, dude. I can do that.
And, like,
I need a fucking coffee, bro.
obviously, I dropped some pounds, but like my face cleared up.
Yeah.
Like my hair was
crazy.
good,
It's crazy.
and like after your like 30th hour, you'll start to like have connections in your brain that you didn't used to have. Because everything we consume, cigarettes, alcohol, shitty food, that's everything that we put in our body that's bad for us. Our body's working to get it out.
To fight,
Right.
yeah.
It's like, and then the more you put in, obviously the harder it has to
Yeah,
work.
right,
That's why
right.
people die at like 50 years old.
Right.
But when you don't put anything in, and you let your body just like do what it's what it normally does, especially if it's been at a high ass rate.
Uh-huh.
And you do it for a couple days, like
Feel good.
yeah, or even
Might
like
have to try
try
it, man.
intermittent. You know, like just eat once a day.
Mhm.
Even when I do that, I feel much better. I haven't eaten yet today, so I'm trying to get like cleansed before I hit Australia because it's
Right.
summer and I'm fucking fat as hell.
Man, how is it? You been to Australia before?
Never, bro.
Man, I wonder how that shit is. You just walk around, see kangaroos.
I'm gonna show you
and-
guys a lot, man. Watch my space.
Well, oh, you definitely
Black Boy
will,
Pride.
man.
You ever been to like Asia?
Never been to Asia. I'm thinking Asia's gonna be like five after I get my EU passport. Like
I'm working on this thing with Fred to try to get a tour over there because I think that'll be big.
I
just
hear the
for
best things about that area,
Man.
bro. Like
China will be
my
dope.
guy's in Bangkok right now.
See that shit though, man. I gotta travel more, goddamn.
On the
But
road, we
I
gotta
can't.
get out.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm a felon. I can't get the passport. I can't. You know.
But there might be. I mean, and that's look it up, man. There
Get
might be
ways
able.
around
Yeah,
that.
like
We
Good-
gonna
at
get
least-
in there.
at least you're white.
Hey, I'm gonna just.
You got
bro,
that going for you.
Without, we
real.
ain't even got to go into your situation though, bro. We know it. If you would have
Yeah,
snitched, would
man.
you have been a snitch in that situation?
Yeah. To the street wise, yeah. Street wise. I
I
mean,
think so, bro.
But again, it's a fucking label that
Label.
people are
yeah,
fucking.
it's a label.
Fuck those people. Like
Yup.
to be. Here's the deal. Yeah, 6ix9ine. He did what he did. Something bad was gonna happen to him. He was either gonna fucking go to jail or get hurt or get killed. He got kidnapped once, didn't he?
Yeah.
Some shit. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, the way the internet is now, and like the way you got motherfuckers claiming they don't write their own or being caught for not writing their own music, like
Yeah.
you can come back from anything.
Yeah, you
But
definitely.
I think we're answering that question now. It's like fuck the labels.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, be a snitch.
Fuck it,
Who
be
gives a
snitch.
fuck? You're free,
You're free. Your family good.
dude.
Yeah.
That's what's
I
up.
guess it depends on what you're snitching about.
Yeah, I mean, and
I
who
mean,
you
I
snitching
feel
on?
like-
And who you snitching on?
Yeah.
If
right?
you had
It's a whole.
if me and my brother got locked up, I'm not gonna fucking snitch on my
no,
brother.
and I
unless he
feel like
fucks me.
if you had an involvement in this shit and you tattletale, then yeah, you a snitch.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have an involvement in this and you didn't do something, and you know it was really nothing you could do to get out of the situation, and you don't, I mean, you know that's different.
Right.
I don't think you a snitch. But if you did it, bro,
It's a million situations.
You a
for
snitch.
that.
And like what you were saying, they was his own gang members, friends were fucking him over anyway.
Big
yeah.
time.
So fuck you
That
guys.
wasn't even his friend. He
Man,
said, "Fuck
I'm
you
saying,
guys."
bro.
Straight up,
Them
bro.
rules
Like,
don't apply at that point. Look,
fuck
hey,
you guys.
Straight up.
Stole my money and my girl.
Once you get to a certain
Fuck my
level,
bitch.
don't turn
Took
back.
my money.
Where's their loyalty? You know.
Yeah. Straight up.
So, you know, you said you starting with your music out the country and shit, man. The Rockford music, how you feel the rise of that, and where you think that's gonna be at in let's say
The next couple years.
couple years?
Yeah. So when I was gone, I didn't really use Facebook. I was using Instagram more. And when I got home, I realized, man, you guys fucking love the book. You know, it's
Yeah.
cool. But I was like untrained. Like I was not fucking with it at all. I would post sometimes, but I was doing everything on the Instagram because it's clean and like you can make it what you want. But so when I got home, like I'm seeing all the activity on Facebook, and it was like, okay, this is cool. Like this podcast is fucking sick. Jilla's podcast,
Appreciate it.
people just doing what they want, doing their own thing. It's pretty sick. I genuinely believe that critical episode that Jilla
Mhm.
had was a shift. It was a moment, right? It was a moment.
Right.
It inspired Go Talk. You know, like that's literally what it is. It inspired a lot of other things.
Yeah, hell yeah.
A lot of people having certain conversations, but what I envision, what I hope to see, is more collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only way. And it's not just, oh, I'm going to share your shit. It's not just like, come perform at my event. No, I'm talking about collaboration from a creative standpoint.
Right.
Get 8 niggas in the room and some females and let's write together. Let's make music together.
Yo.
Because then everybody's gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
People can write beats. People got swag. Whatever. People got stories. But if you're not good, you're not good. And I'm not great, but I'm getting better every day. So I'm hoping to see more collaboration, and then as a team, like, let's fuck it up. But I also believe that Rockford is. A lot of people are afraid to branch out, and I'm not saying Rockford. I'm not coming from a Rockford is shitty standpoint. You have to leave if you want to be larger. You have to leave Rockford. You have to leave. You have to leave. It doesn't matter where you go. You have to leave. Everybody who has become large left. J. Cole left and went to New York for 10 fucking years. Drake was spending a lot of time in Memphis and Houston. Your brother has a job, right? Your brother has a job to do. But if for whatever reason he was like, yeah, I don't want to leave. He obviously would never say that.
Right.
But if he had that mindset that said, I ain't trying to leave, he wouldn't be fucking doing the amazing things he's doing right now.
Right.
Michelle Williams, everybody, Virgil Abloh.
Yo.
You have to leave.
You gotta get out.
You have to leave and be in it. You know, that's what happened. When I went over there, man, like, they were fucking with me. Number one, because I was American. But, like, you know, people just wanted to work. You have to leave. You have to do it. So I'm hoping more Rockford people, number one, work together. And number two, decide to leave.
Branch out.
It can only be 6 months. It can only be 3 months.
But
go live there.
Do work.
And then work and meet
do
people.
work, yeah.
Yo.
Network.
Exactly.
Goat talk, yeah, we're friends. Money was never discussed. Never discussed. And I honestly believe, like, that's J.O.'s really gonna smash the visual. That's a fucking banger.
Yeah.
And we created it together. Doc wasn't even fucking supposed to be in the studio that night. He just showed up. I was like, your voice is sick. Do it.
That's what's up.
That's love.
We wrote, like, I wrote
Love
there.
is
The only
true.
thing I had was a hook, and Legend sent me like a little voice message over of that melody. I was like, I want us to stop there until we get there. And we get there, we just
Go crazy.
you need collaboration, man. Like,
Yeah.
you need
That's what's
collaboration.
Definitely go hard. You definitely chose the right two to
That's
go with
what's
you
up,
too.
man.
Them two, they amazing, bro.
Love
Doc
it.
Legend,
what's up, man.
amazing.
I think
Y'all gonna
I
go
think,
crazy.
Like the money thing in Rockford is the problem. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
of course.
we a big city, but we so small that everybody knows each other. So like
Yeah.
they don't take you serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like I personally think that they don't respect the people like you that's creative that'll come in and don't like worry about that shit. They just want to do the music because they love it.
I'm about to fuck up the scene.
And I think that what really changed Rockford and what'll get rappers and a lot of other people on is just one of these motherfuckers out here. I don't care how you got it. You got money that you can put into something and use that shit and give these motherfuckers a platform.
Yeah.
That's all that is gonna take.
As soon as someone does pop, the hate is going to be so strong.
Oh
that
my
motherfucker's
God.
going to leave anyway.
Oh
can't-
my
you ain't gonna be
God,
able
it's
to
gonna
stay
be
here.
real.
The hate is going to be strong. I've got lyrics in my 4N that says, I done seen more countries than I seen states. I done felt more love than I felt hate. But I know soon come that's going to change. So I'm focused making changes to my old ways. We are going to, and that's just the way we are. Like, we are going to tear that person down to where that person wants to fucking
Because
leave.
I'm not gonna lie to you, any human being, bro. Like if I grew up with somebody that I knew I was better than as a person all the way around, and they was just like a bum, and they became successful, I would have some type of envy and some type of feeling of that at first.
It's just natural.
And it's natural, and that's why they always say the rappers always get killed in their home cities.
You know?
And you had the most problems in your home city because that's exactly
RP
true.
one way. That man had it.
You know what I'm saying?
Shameless plug. Sorry to cut you off. Shameless
you good.
plug for my event tomorrow. That's why I created this event. You know, we used to do something similar. I got the idea from over in the UK. The guy who's on my banger that's gonna drop in July. Just jam sessions, bro. Like free event number one. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But a jam session where tomorrow we've got tenor sax, alto sax, keyboards, drums, 3 people on guitar, and a bassist. And the format is, it's catered to the musicians. I've put musicians together in a room before,
You on to something?
and I've seen them. They're just that talented. Like
Right.
the people we did a practice session last week. These guys had never met each other before. They've never met, and I'll show you some videos.
Crazy.
They just jammed it, right? So then you let them create this environment, and it's a free for all. It's like a freestyle. Like you just jump in when you feel a vibe.
Right.
You just jump in when you feel a vibe. And I'll have so I'm gonna let some rappers. A lot of rappers think it's already like a fucking showcase. Like no, it's not that. This is catered to the musicians. If you catch a vibe, jump in and do your shit, and then jump your ass back out. It's like double dutch with music.
Yeah. That's
And it's gonna be every third Monday so that people can plan around it, and it's free as fuck, for now. But my thing is I need to figure out a way to keep it free, and what it's gonna do is you're gonna be able to show your skills, but what it's gonna do is bring people together, who normally wouldn't be together, and hopefully collaborate. That banger that I'm dropping in July came from me going to those events. I met my band at that event. They don't even know they're my band yet, but they got my back. And that's where I met them. You know,
That's dope as hell.
our first session, we plugged all the inputs in, had keys, a female vocalist, myself, guitar, bass, and drums, and they went for 2 hours straight.
Wow.
I'm not lying.
Crazy.
We mixed it all. I've got an hour and a half of the audio, and when I play it for you, you're gonna be like, you would think it was a rehearsal.
What?
That's crazy.
And they had only 2 of them had played together before.
That's crazy.
It's magical.
Crazy how music can come together.
It's
How
magical.
Vibes can come
This is
together.
like I just popped this question like from when he was talking. Like, can you tell me somewhere that you can go? Is there somewhere and something that you can go and do anywhere, like in Rockford, that you can just be yourself?
No.
Like I think
Hell
that
no.
is a market that is like so
That's a good
wide
event,
open.
though, that
Yeah.
he putting
But
together.
that's not enough people that believe in it because all that shit lame as hell.
I think
What?
now that you asked that question, the first question you asked, I think, was earlier in this session about what changed the most for me when I lived outside of the U.S.
Yep.
And you just made me think about it. That was it.
Be yourself.
I've always been myself. Like I've never
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
like I
yeah.
wasn't myself. I've never gave a fuck. Like
Right.
I listened to Maroon 5 when I was like 15, Mayday Parade,
Yeah.
fucking I still listen to Paramore. Like I never gave a fuck.
Right.
You know that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I've never
been
given a
around-
fuck
I've been
about what
around you for a
people thought
minute,
about
bro.
that, right? So, but because of the systematic influences that we have, we steer a certain way in certain areas. But when I went over there, I learned more about myself and said, fuck, I grew my hair out. I couldn't grow my hair out in corporate America. I could, but it would be
You'd
fine.
fight
if I was here.
It's just another battle. You got
Another
Exactly.
label, like you said, a
You
label.
know what I
Like,
mean?
motherfuckers label
extra
shit.
baggage in the backpack.
Yeah.
Over there, I was like,
No
fuck
reason.
it. You know? Like, come on. And I think we all have the ability to do that, but it's your environment that steers how
Yeah.
much of it you allow it to happen.
That's what's up. Hey man, that's an event. That event is.
It's going to be lit.
That's a great ass event.
It's
though.
going to be lit.
Tomorrow,
Yeah,
January.
tomorrow, 8:15
February
start.
18th. Fucking fat face.
Yeah, let
Bad
them know where
news
it's at. and
bears.
shit.
It's at District. I'm actually going there after this to put a structure together. Terry's gonna do some DJing for us because in the UK it worked because 20 motherfuckers would show up
Right.
with their instruments.
Right.
We've got hopefully some more people show up, but we've got about 6 to 8 set people, and it's gonna be how long they can keep it going.
Right.
You know, but we're setting it up. We're building around it to where we've got Terry there, so he's gonna do some DJing for us.
Right, yeah.
And I've asked a few people to possibly have a backing track ready, just in case, just so the night doesn't die.
Right, right.
Because they're letting us in that bitch till they close.
Oh, that's
Oh shit,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what's up.
And we got a sound engineer. The guy who does their sound for every like regional band that comes in, he's there.
That's what's up.
He's engineering the whole thing.
Okay.
So like, once we get the trust of District, which I'm pretty sure we will, because I was there last night and that shit was. Shouts out to Dustin De Benedetto. Like, you talk about a manager that like just knows and is just a good person. If you go to District on a Saturday, bro, it's black as fuck in there, and it's amazing. Like they still be tripping, you know, like fucking chains and shit. But for the most part, motherfuckers was still in there.
You in there though.
You know what I mean? And it was thick.
Yeah, you in there.
So shouts to Dustin for like having that, creating that culture there again. Or not again, because I don't think it was ever there. But creating that culture in the Rockford bar scene and letting us do this. Like when we nail this tomorrow, we got their trust. You know, and you know, me being, you know, a little
Shit
cheeky,
could
a
be
little
For
selfish.
real, man.
Before I dip, I'm gonna fucking be able to give you 25 minutes of my own shit, and you have to listen to it.
it.
You know, like, but then once we get it going, like people will have, I will let people do a showcase. So this month we got Legend. This month we got Gabe Gibbs.
Yeah.
This month we got, you know, myself or whomever. And like, it's exciting, man. Like I'm very excited to get this shit rolling. And I really want to keep it going, like even after I leave. Like, so my thing is to keep it free. That's what's special to people. But we will take a collection, just like church.
Right.
So like, look, if you had a good time tonight, give what you can. I don't give a fuck what it is. Give what you can. And then I want to start to be able to like give that to the musicians, because it cost me $75 to run this event, $100 to run this event, because we got to pay the engineer.
Right.
So District is splitting that with me, or $150. They're splitting that with me, and hopefully, if we can do this well, then they'll cover it. But I want to be able to come back.
Keep doing it.
For that weekend, and do this thing.
That's what's
So
up, bro.
if we do end up charging, it would probably be like $5. But we're gonna prove ourselves first. Because all I want to do is be able to buy my ticket home. I don't want to make money off of this thing.
Right, yeah.
Just want to be able to buy my flight home once a month and keep it rolling. I think it'll be great for the city.
That's what's
Yeah,
up,
it
man.
definitely
Best of
will,
luck to
man.
that.
That's
Let-
gonna bring everything together.
Let the people know about the website and all that, man.
Yeah,
Get
so-
promos before we get out this
Yeah.
thing.
Number one, I really do appreciate this.
No, we appreciate
man,
you,
we
bro. Like I
appreciate
told
you.
you, bro.
Love,
Thank you
man.
for coming
Fucking
through this
love, man.
motherfucker. You know I fuck with
Straight
shit.
up,
Yeah.
bro.
And I like people who like just do. You know, like we watch so much shit. You can read all these inspiring quotes and videos and shit,
Yeah.
but you gotta do it.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Be a
You
goat
guys
if you
are
don't
doing
try.
it, and have patience, and don't be thinking about view numbers, stats. You'll never see me tag a bunch of niggas on my shit
Right.
when I share it. If I'm tagging you, you're either there, you're on it,
You're on it or you're not.
right?
Facts.
So don't. I don't think about
support.
numbers at all. Numbers
Yep.
don't mean anything right now.
Right.
They don't mean anything. So
Right.
I commend you guys for like staying consistent, and pushing it. And I'm excited to see what you guys do. But you can find
this thing.
Yeah, I'm really trying to centralize all my stuff. So www.blackboyabroad.com. That's where you can find my music, my videos. My IG is linked there, and my Facebook is linked there. So everything, just www.blackboyabroad.com. And then my IG is LRD Byron, BYRON. And those are the two main things. Those are the two main things for me. I only do Facebook and Instagram. I don't have time for all the other shit, bro. It's too much, bro.
Too much.
All this social media shit.
Man.
Real. Man, y'all get in tune, man. He's got a vision.
He gonna make it, man.
And I definitely already been
Support,
loving the
bro.
story from when he already been showing us. So I'm definitely ready to see what's coming in.
I really
the future,
appreciate
for
that,
real,
man.
for real,
Thank you so
bro.
much.
For real. You inspire motherfuckers to keep doing your thing. So that
Definitely.
shit gonna pay off, for real.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Appreciate that.
These jokes in this bitch.
Fat nose.
Knee neck. We
I
off
love
this
that.
bitch, man.
I love that.